Looks like we're going lovely jubbly. There we go. Right. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. And we're back. Who's recovered from that magnificent race that we had nearly a week ago now? Yes, I know I'm a little bit late, but it's been a bit of a busy week, I'm not going to lie, finding time to fit everything in and all that jazz. But I have made it, I have remembered, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. So, yes, welcome to another Renault Megane trophy. We're at round 7 here at the beautiful place of Spain, here at Barcelona. We're at Catalonia. Quite a track non-favoured by most people. I can't imagine why, but never mind, that's not what we're here for. So we are here for the Renault Megane Trophy round 7. So what is the Renault Megane Trophy? Well, the Renault Megane Trophy is a one-make championship using the excellent Renault Megane Group 4 exclusively. Drivers will battle hard, going wheel to wheel in 2 30-minute feature races over 10 weeks, and we're around the 7th week now, so not much left to go for this. Drivers will need to use a mandatory racing medium compound at some point over the 2 races, so we'll need to select carefully which race to use the slower tyre. And again, we're at Catalonia, so the layout for this is they usually have a 10-minute qualifying in which they are free to choose whichever tyre. And then, like we mentioned, the first feature race will be 30 minutes with the fastest from qualifying first. And then for the second race, we have another 30 minutes in which it is reverse grid from the previous results. In the races, all tyres are available, but they have to use the racing medium. And it has been a very, very hard-fought championship up at the front, because at the tables we can see at the moment that Homesick Alien is currently leading on 186 points, so he's got a little bit of a buffer for the time being, but how is that's going to last, I wonder. In second we have Racer Brown on 172 points, keeping Homesick Alien honest, but it could still happen, who knows. In third we have Guesty on 140 points, so there's quite a bit of a gap between those top 2 runners there, so it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out in third. In fourth we have Bazza on 137 points, just 3 points behind Guesty, really, really tight there. In fifth we have Ensign Hewitt, or Big Dan, on 131 points. Mrs. Guesty on 127 points, she's in 6th. 7th we have Perchon on 124 points. In 8th we have Pat on 101 points. 9th we have Reader on 92 points. In 10th we have Silverstar on 69 points. Giggity. In 11th we have Kale on 46 points. 12th we have Electric on 45 points. 13th we have Bunny on 32, but he's not shown up since round 1, so I think that's Bunny over and done with. As is the same with Skyjacker in 14th on 6 points, and Harvey on 0. So it's all tight up the front at the championship, with Racer Brown and Homesick Alien clearly the 2 protagonists for this championship. And let's not forget recently, oh no, we haven't got that far yet, have we? So ignore that. I'm a bit ahead of myself. So they've had a 10-minute qualifying, so let's have a look at how they turned out. And let's give a little shout out to this slightly unenthusiastic race director, who clearly is like, I don't get paid enough for this, why am I here? But kudos to you, sir. Kudos to the volunteer. So, how have they turned out? Let's have a look, and there they are. And what a spicy grid we have already. This is going out to be a fantastic race. This is going to be interesting. So we can see on pole we have third place in the championship, Guesty. First blood to Guesty in this one. In second we have Homesick Alien. Already getting a bit of a head start against his championship rival, who is in third, which is Racer Brown. So Racer Brown will be wanting to make up some ground already from the start. In fourth we have Electric. Great qualifying for Electric, but can he convert it into a good result? In fifth we have Big Dan, also qualifying well, so that will be good for him. With, what is it? It's Bazza, who's not far behind. He's not far behind Bazza, so that'll be good for him. And then in sixth, that is Rido. So Rido doing qualifying quite well. Seventh, that is the Bazza, so he'll be wanting to make up some ground on Big Dan. In eighth, we have Silver Star. Maybe thinking he could have done it better, but to be fair, he's done quite well. I'll give him it there. In ninth, we have Mrs. Guesty. And then in 10th, we have the Pat Man. So, all looking very good at the moment. So, let's get this one underway. So, who are we missing so far? I think we're missing Perchon. And Kale not making an appearance yet, so let's see how these all turned out. So we'll jump out, we will reset, and we will get them going. And as you can tell, the voice has recovered, so yay! All is well in the universe. So let's get them lights going, let's get them engines going, and here we go. God, they were holding off for a long time. So they're on the way, and it looks like Guesty's managed to get a good start, as well as Homesick Alien tucking in behind Guesty, wanting to get as good toe as he can, because here comes Racer Brown on the outside. You can see they're all wiggling for position, and Guesty's managed to hold off the lead so far, and Homesick Alien and Racer Brown as they were, as with Electric. Bazza moving up to 6th already, and I haven't checked the tyres, so that's not good. And Silver Star's moving up to 5th. So you can see he's on the soft tyres, so he's really got to get a move on if he wants to make those soft tyres get the best out of them while they are still fresh. And Bazza moves up to 6th. Big Dan drops to 7th, but he is on the medium, so he's getting them out of the way early doors. And Rido has dropped a considerable amount as well. He's down in 8th on the mediums as well. Mrs. Guesty on the mediums as well, as Pat is as well. So we can see the guys at the back running on the mediums. But so far, Guesty, who is also on the mediums, is starting to get a bit of a gap between himself and Homesick Alien, who is also on the mediums, as is Racer Brown. Electric has gone for softs, so far we've only got 2 runners on the softs, and they're in 4th and 5th, and I think everybody else is on mediums. Yes, they are. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out as they go down into that tight left-hander. And it's all as it were, as Guesty still holds off the lead, and Homesick Alien keeping him honest, keeping him on his toes, not wanting to get away. But he's got Racer Brown tight behind him, as well as Electric keeping up with them as well. A cracking start from Electric, but don't forget he is on the sauce. He is got a bit of a grip advantage at the moment, as is Silver Star, so that might be why he's keeping up with the leaders, but that's the intention of it. Who's going to get the biggest advantage coming down this long straight so far? Silver Star still holding off in 15th, and Bazza and Big Dan's having a look behind Bazza. He's tucked in. Is he going to take advantage of it? No, he does not. So it's all as you were. Oh dear. I thought I was going to sneeze then. waiting for it, but it didn't pop out. So Renault now in 8th as Pat's moved up into 9th, and Mrs. Guesty has dropped to 10th, but it's still early doors. Still got a good half an hour to try to make up for some places. Meanwhile, at the front, Guesty is still holding off that lead. And is that Electric having a go at Racer Brown? He's having a look around the outside and he can't quite make it move. Racer Brown making him do it the hard way, as you would expect for someone with the experience of Racer Brown. And Electric still on him. Meanwhile, back here we can see that Bazza's having a look at Silver Star. He just went wide a little bit there. He can't be doing too many of that because he's got Big Dan right behind him. He can't be making too many mistakes like that. You can see they all go wide a little bit there, but it's all fair game at this point. Bazza having a look, see where his main rival is. He's right behind him at the moment, so this is where he'll be wanting in. This will be good for his little championship battle with Bazza and Guesty, but you've got to feel that Guesty's got a bit of a gap between them, and with him leading at the moment, it's not going to be looking good for those two. But those two would love to have a go at each other all the time. They're always close-knit to each other in the championship, so it's great to see them having a good duke it out. And Big Dan just dropping back a little bit from Bazza now. Have a look back here, there's still no change whatsoever from this point. Pat's still in 9th, this is Guesty up front, and as you can see now, Guesty is opening up a gap to Homesick Alien as well as Racer Brown. He's managing to lose it. Oh, it looks like Guesty was going to have a look on the inside of Racer Brown there, but he couldn't find a way through. You can see that Electric's really digging at the heels of Racer Brown. We're inside the cockpit now. Let's go to that view, because that is, oh, look at that, all green, showing off his proud Irishness there. Lovely sporting green. I think it's orange on the other side as well on his helmet, which looks pretty cool. He's got a bit of white stripe going down the centre. Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. He's having a look on the inside. He can't quite make it work, but he's got to make quick work of it, because those soft tyres are going to wear out faster than the mediums, but he just can't seem to find a way through at the moment. Ooh, bit of a wiggle there from Electric, but he's managing to keep it on track for the time being. You see there's still no improvement. Homesick Alien can't seem to make a dent in this small gap that he has to Guesty. Guesty, meanwhile, is really holding off his own. He's worn his tyres quite a considerable amount. Homesick Alien's managed to look after his a little better. This is the experience of Homesick Alien, knowing that he's got a long race, and 25 minutes still left. He knows there's all that time left. He could force Guesty into a small mistake, and that's where he can take advantage. And Racer Brown is still hot on their heels, so one mistake from these four at the front could severely change the outlook at the moment. Meanwhile, back here we can see that Silver Star is still holding off Bazza, but the two of them, of Bazza and Big Dan, tight behind Silver Star. They're going to go down 3 wide into the first corner. Oh no, Big Dan's still sucking in, and there we go as he pulled the trigger. 3 wide into the first corner. Hold on to your breakfast. No, Bazza sneaks through on the inside, taking 5th place. Excellent execution there, sir. Mighty clean overtaking. We can have a see that Big Dan's having a look at Silver Star again. Top 4 now running away with it. There's a big gap between these guys, and Big Dan's having a look on the inside, but can't quite make it stick. So he'll probably be waiting for Silver Star's tyres to just start giving up the ghost, and then he can make a proper attack. As we can see, Silver Star's now caught up to Bazza, so we could see a movement with these guys rather soon. So we'll keep with them for the time being, as Big Dan's having a look on the inside. Oh no! Oh dear, Silver Star must have lost the back end, and there he's dropping like a stone. He must be absolutely so annoyed with himself. It looks like there was contact with Big Dan, but it didn't look intentional. So I think Big Dan will just shrug that off, probably apologise to Silver Star at the end of this. I'm sure there's no harm, no foul between those two. They are good friends off track. So, and we've got a yellow flag. Oh, it's Bazza. He's gone wide at the corner. Wait, no, he isn't. Somebody else has gone. It's Guesty. Oh, no, Guesty's lost the lead. Oh, no. All right, we'll have to have a look at that one, I'm afraid, because it is for the lead. As you can see, Homesick Alien right on the outside. Really making battle. Oh, he's just lost the back end. He's squirming, and there it's gone. Oh, poor Guesty. He must be absolutely gutted with that. It looks like there was no foul there from Homesick Alien, but he's going to be so annoyed with himself. So we see he's dropped to 6th behind Big Dan. That's how much that spin has cost him. Oh, my word. Poor Guesty must be absolutely... As you can see, that Electric is having a look at Racer Brown. We're going to see him move down to the first corner. He's moving out of the toe. Is he going to have a look? No, he thinks better of it. He tucks back in. Or is he going to wait for the last moment? No, he doesn't. Sticks behind Racer Brown. Ready. He's thinking he's got a podium here at the moment, so he may not want to. Oh, he's having a look on the inside of Racer Brown, and he's made it work. He's made it work, and he's through, but is Racer Brown going to come back at him? Coming up to the next right-hander. We know he's not going to be staying there for much longer, especially when electric tyres start giving up the ghost, and we can see he's just biding his time now. He knows it will come eventually, and then when the moment is right, he will pounce and take that second place back from Electric. Meanwhile, further back here, we still have Bazza. Still got a bit of a gap between himself and Big Dan. He's managed to catch up a little bit. Maybe it might have been from a mistake from the previous lap. As we can see, Bazza did do no, it was Big Dan that did a 157 and Bazza did a 156, so it might have been a mistake in this lap. We don't know, but Big Dan has managed to catch up. Meanwhile, Rido has now got Guesty for company, and Guesty will probably be on a huge charge after that poor spin he had, and Pat's having a look at him now. Oh my word, what has happened to Guesty? He's got 3 seconds. He's 3 seconds down on his best, so he must have made a small mistake in this lap as well. Poor Guesty. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. Oh no, it's all fine, it's all good. Got a bit giddy there when I saw the yellow flags, but luckily it looks like everybody else has gone away fine. Oh no, Pat's gone wide into the kitty litter. Oh no. Oh, he was just on the verge of having an attack. Oh wait, no, it's Bazza. Bazza, it must have been Bazza that's had a spin. Oh, that's got to be gutted for him as well. It appears that everybody is falling foul to that foul corner, but now Silver Star has a playmate in a good friend of Bazza, so he's going to be enjoying this race once again, and maybe he can make up some places after that little spin that he had with Big Dan. But meanwhile, Homesick Alien is now under threat from Electric. Wow, would you believe it? Electric really on fire here at Catalunya. The tyres are starting to give up, so he'll have to be careful if he wants to nurse these tyres for the next 20 minutes, but he could still pit. Let's not forget, they can come into the pits for fresh tyres. There's nothing to say that they can't, but I can imagine that Electric will probably pit, maybe get some fresh softs on and really start hammering the lap times in. As we can see at the moment, Electric does have the fastest lap with a 53.3 compared to Homesick Alien with a 54.3. So Electric really on fire on this second round, on this first race here at round 7 at Catalunya. I don't know the rest of it. I probably do if I looked it up, but isn't it like... No, I don't think it is anyway. So we can see that these three have now got a very comfortable gap between themselves and 4th place, with Racer Brown still keeping those two honest. Once again, just a small mistake from one of these two. We can see him drop back. It's happened to Guesty. Is it going to happen to anyone else at the front, I wonder? Big Dan, so near enough all on his own at the moment, as there is a big gap between himself and 3rd. Rido is quite behind. In fact, where's Rido come from? He's really come on, Mangio, I suppose. A few people making mistakes and dropping back, and he's still got Guesty behind him again. So, as you can see, the gap between themselves and the top 3 is so there is quite a considerable gap, but it is a long straight, so we'll be expected to see them. It's got Guesty for company as well. You know, Guesty's going to be keeping him honest and giving him the absolute beans. He'll be wanting to make up all those places from that little spin that he had, really make up for lost ground. Meanwhile, Pat in 7th, playing the patient game. It appears to be working. You can hear the tyres begging for mercy round that corner. It's a long corner, and Catalonia does like to eat the front left of these cars, and you can imagine that front left is really going to be punished in this round. You can see Baz is now tight up behind Pat with Silver Star there as well, and Mrs. Guesty, she is a considerable way back. Oh no, and she must have made a big mistake on the previous lap, a 2:20. So Mrs. Guesty now all on her Billy Bob, but we've seen that this is catching a lot of drivers out, so maybe somebody else will have a spin and she will have a playmate to have a race with. But meanwhile, still at the front, Jose Alien really having to push those medium tyres to their absolute limit. Electric keeping him absolute honest. He's got quite a good exit of that corner, and is Electric going to force Jose Alien into defence mode coming up to the first corner? There we go, he moves out, Electric goes with him, and now he's going around the outside. Is Electric going to pull this off round the outside? Oh, it's close, and now he's got the inside, and there we go, Electric takes the lead from Jose Alien. But Jose Alien's come and have a look on the inside, but he hasn't got the grip of those medium tyres, and there we go, Electric holds it in first. But now we're coming up to another right-hander, and Jose Alien is tight behind the Irish driver, and this is going to be very tantalising stuff because those soft tyres are going to give up soon, and we've still got 15 minutes left to go. That front left is not going to last much longer, and it would appear that Electric is absolutely pushing them, punishing them. It's leading at the moment, but how long is that going to last? Because he's not losing. Oh no, there's a bit of a twitch from Electric, and Jose Alien is now having a look on the inside. Oh, squeezing through there and holding off well. Jose Alien couldn't quite find a way through, but all this battling is going to invite Racer Brown into the mix. So these two are going to have to be careful. This is absolute racing at its finest, no doubt about it. Now come up to the final few corners of lap 8, just under 15 minutes to go so far. It's all looking peachy for the Irishman, but you don't think it's going to be there for long. As you can see, Electric really putting the hammer down to get away from Jose Alien. Jose Alien going to use the toe to claw back some of the gap that he would lose in the corner. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move coming into the corner. You can see that just having a look, can't quite make it work, so Jose Alien will probably give it another lap before striking, and Racer Brown keeping them tight and close, making sure one small mistake and he will be punishing them for it. Meanwhile, down in 4th, we've still got Big Dan. He's now all on his own at the moment. No one to race but himself, but he'll be pretty happy with this 4th place. It'll be good for his championship fight with Bazza, who's dropped to 7th. Rito's still in 5th, keeping Guesty honest and keeping him in 6th. Rito doing a cracking job at the moment. Guesty trying to make up for that small mistake a few laps ago, but it looks like his medium tyres are starting to give up now. Maybe he's had the best out of them, so now it's just damage control and making sure he maintains the points that he's going to be getting today. Bazza's still in 7th, and Pat's gone ahead of Silver Star. I've just noticed that. Is that the tyres? Well, he's still got a bit of grip left, so we're not fully used up at the moment. So Silverstar still doing quite well. He's having a look at the outside of Pat, but it's not going to work there, my friend. And Mrs. Guesty probably just using this as a good practice session, maybe knuckle in a few laps and get to find where she might be able to make up some time, maybe, but never mind, it's still going to be points at the end of the day. Love. Meanwhile, still holding the lead, Electric doing incredibly well. He still has the fastest lap. I think he's going to be getting the fastest lap by the end of this, because I can't see anybody else getting it unless they pit in. Electric really having to go slow now. That tyre, really not much left of it now. Here it's squealing in pain, and Homesick Alien ready to pounce. Has he got the momentum coming out the corner? I don't think he has. Wow, he's getting purples. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous at this state in the race, but stranger things have happened. Let's see, really shot up to the back of Electric there, really making Electric have to fight hard for this first place. I'm not going to say it because something will happen in which it will break the current run that Electric is on. And can he hold off for a podium, I wonder? Is Electric going to pit? I can imagine those soft tyres. Oh no, I said it, didn't I? I said it. Oh, poor Electric. I don't think there was any contact between himself and Homesick Alien. I don't think there was. It didn't look like there was. It looked like the back end just snapped, but what a strange place for it to happen. Really not quite sure on that one. So, Homesick Alien retakes the lead in this race, but now he's got Racer Brown tight behind him, and it's the two championship rivals going at it again. And we can see that Homesick Alien has managed his tyres that little bit better. So at the moment, it is advantage Alien. Electric is still in third though after that spin, but now Big Dan is on course. You can see the podium door. Is he going to knock it down? Is he going to boot that door down, say King of Doors, and make his way up onto the podium? I wonder. Oh, Guesty has gone ahead of Rito. So Guesty now in fifth, Rito down to sixth. You can see he's really punished that front left medium in this bid to try and catch up. But Rito's not all that far behind him, so he needs to still keep his head down and still pump in the lap times. Rito's now struggling to keep the back end under control. Still got Bazza in seventh. He's still doing quite well. That front medium quite worn out, as with Silverstar on the source though. To be fair, he's still got quite a bit. He's got a little bit left on that front left. We can see Pat's come in as well. That front medium absolutely giving up. So is he going to go to soft side, wonder, and really pump in the laps, I wonder? We'll come back to him shortly. And Mrs. Guesting now moves up to... Oh, she's got a bit of damage, so clouted a barrier somewhere. Oh, it's gone away now, so it was quite a fair back, really. And there we can see Pat has moved on to the soft, so is he going to go for the fastest lap, I wonder? Can he smell blood in that fastest lap and thinking, I can do that, and get himself an extra point? That would be lovely to see. But so far, the day's going to Homesick Alien, but he still needs to keep it in the right direction. Racer Brown keeping him honest in that second place. There's no love lost between these two absolute titans on the track. There's barely not much in between them. As we've seen from the 2.5, there isn't much between them except for the differences in the cars. Now that they're in equal machinery, we can see that these two are just as good as one another. Racer Brown has used his tyres a little bit more than Homesick Alien, so he has used a little bit more fuel as well, but in a race like this it means nothing, but at the same time every little bit could give you just that little bit more of a advantage. well. Electric still holding off in third. That front left tyre now destroyed. There's nothing left of it. So Electric just purely hanging on now. I don't think he's going to pit. Not when he's got a podium at the moment, but Big Dan is on the mediums. We know he can go through a set of tyres quite quickly. As you can see, he's on the mediums. He's got a little bit of meat left on him. Is he going to be able to use it to his advantage, I wonder, to really get himself a podium? And I don't think Electric has had a podium in the Renault Megane Trophy. I shall double check. And yes, he has. Oh. No, he hasn't. He has not. I'm looking at the wrong person. I thought he did, but it was Kale. So it was the wrong person. So at the meantime, Electric could be looking at his first podium in the Renault Megane Trophy. Well, that would be a story and a half to bring home. Be amazing, but he's still got Big Dan for company, so it's not going to be an easy fight for him. He'll have to work for it, and we've got a charging Guesty coming up as well. We know he's quick, but he has worn those mediums out quite a bit. Around about the same level as Big Dan, so not much between themselves, and not between Big Dan and Guesty. There's not much between them. We know Guesty's a quick driver, so it's all going to be down to skill at this point. But is Electric going to hold on? Just 6.5 minutes to go for Electric for that magical podium. Reno still in 6th, still keeping those guys ahead of him, honest. It feels a bit... Oh. But excuse me for a second. Ah, that's a bit better. Yeah, that feeling you get in your throat where it feels like there's something there, but there actually isn't. It's fucking horrible. So, Bazza still in 7th, still doing well. This is going to be probably not as many points as he would like, but it's still going to be points at the end of the day in his little fight with Big Dan in the championship. Silver Star still in 8th at the moment. That front tyre's now gone, so he's just doing his best to hang on for 8th for the time being. Mrs. Guesty still in 9th, and we've got a charging pack coming up behind him. As you can see, he's just done his best lap with a 1:54.9, so he needs to find another 4 or 5 tenths to get the fastest lap away from Electric. But still at the front is these two still going at it. But it looks like it's going to be another win for the homesick of Aliens, but he's got to remember just one small mistake and Racer Brown is going to make him punish for it. You can see the gap to 3rd place at the moment. He's not even coming to view yet. This nearly, there we go, right at the dead of it. You see Electric just coming on to the main straight. That's how much of a gap these two, Racer Brown and homesick Alien, have between the guys all the way at the back. You see the sun's now starting to go down, all the lights have come on, but we can still see all the beautiful colours of these beautiful liveries still shining ever so gloriously. But it looks like Big Dan has gone through those tyres, so it's going to be all down to skill now, because even though they are used, a worn soft is still going to be slightly better than a used medium. Guesty as well is in exactly the same boat, but he is catching Big Dan. Is Big Dan going to be able to hold off 4th place? Yeah, I'm sure he'll be proud of this, even though it was a mistake from Guesty that's led him into this situation, but I'm sure he'll be happy to have up 1 over Guesty. Meanwhile, Reno is also in 6th, still doing quite well, still got a bit of bit of meat left on those mediums, so he's still going quite well, as is Bazza, but he's used up those tyres now, so this is pretty much all the pace that Bazza will get now. He's a bit on his Billy Bobs at the moment, so it looks like 7th is solid, as well as Silver Star. He has dropped off the pace, but those worn softs will Definitely do that. And then back here we still got Mrs. Guesty still ahead of Pat at the moment, who hasn't got the fastest lap, and I think it's gone because those softs are not going to be able to get in the lap he needs now. So it looks like Electric hangs on to the fastest lap. Less than 3 minutes to go, and these two are still absolutely duking it out. What can you say about this? 27 minutes in and there's nothing between them. Jose Alien going on to the inside. It must have thought that Racer Brown had the better exit, but it doesn't look that way, as now he tucks in back onto the racing line. And you can see that these two are literally less than a car length's gap between them. Oh, it could end up being anybody's. Just, oh, I daren't look away. Just one mistake from either of them and it's going to hand the other a victory. You couldn't plan this after half an hour. You really couldn't. Tops to these guys, but absolutely giving it all after this long, and they're still pushing each other as hard as ever, even from the start. It's glorious. Absolutely beautiful. They've left the rest of them for dead. It's just an indication of just how quick these two are. They've left everybody for dead. You can see Racer Brown constantly in the mid 54s to the low 55s. I'm seeing Alien pretty much the same. High 55s. Well, he's got high 55. That might be a small mistake, but often always in the 54s, barring that one lap, and it's a 54 again. Barring that one lap, he's 2 laps even, from what I can see, he's been in the 55s. It's ridiculous from these guys. The consistency of these two is unbelievable. Meanwhile, it appears that Owen the rear's now given up for Electric, so he's just giving it the best he can. You can see he was 4 seconds slower on his previous lap. That's how much these tyres give up once they're gone. But it looks like that this is going to be everyone's final lap, as we can see that Guesty and Big Dan are now going at it. So Big Dan wasn't able to hold off Guesty, and there he goes into 4th place for Guesty, and Dan's now down to 5th. But maybe he might be give Guesty a bit more pressure. Maybe force him to make a mistake like he did in the few laps the first half. It could be all he needs. Rito still in 6th. We've still got Bazza in 7th, and a gap to 8th with Silver Star. That left rear almost giving up, just like it did with Electric, and Pat is now ahead of Mrs. Guesty. And oh dear, what's going on here? Not quite sure what's going on here, but this must be a technical issue for Mrs. Guesty, as she has finished. Oh, maybe that's why she was just wanting to finish early. As we cut to the leaders, and we can see there's still no change, so it looks like race 1 is going to go to Homesick Alien to extend his championship fight with Racer Brown just that little bit more. And this will be one that he'll be pleased with. Half 4, Homesick Alien takes the win, with Racer Brown coming home in 2nd. Electric, wow, what a race for him. He's going to be absolutely buzzing after this one. Keep it together, my friend. There we go. Easy round the corner. Don't bottle it now. And he's held on. Electric takes his first podium of the Renault Megane Trophy. Well done, my friend. Guesty comes home in 4th. Big Dan comes home in 5th. Rito takes 6th. Now we just have to wait for Bazza to cross the line. There's a bit of a gap, and here he comes. And it's still points at the end of the day, Bazza, so all is well in the universe. Bazza takes 7th. Now we cut back to Silver Star, as with you, my friend. 8th place. It's still going to be good points. Pat has really closed the gap, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Silver Star is going to take 8th. And just that small mistake cost him a lot more points, but never mind, it's still points. Silver Star takes 8th and Pat comes home in 9th, and I rewind it by accident, so we'll skip forward. Well, there we go. Homesick Alien comes home with the win. He's going to be pleased with that one to extend his championship gap to Racer Brown, who came home in 2nd. So Racer Brown has a bit of catching up to do in race 2. Electric will be on cloud 9 with his podium for 3rd. He's definitely going to be happy with that one. Guesty coming home in 4th. It was the fight that he had to fight for after that spin early on in the race, but he's done well to catch himself back up into 4th. Big Dan coming home in 5th. What could have been? What could have been? Rido in 6th. He'll be pleased with that one. Bazza coming home in 7th. That's a mistake from him, and a bit gutted about that one. Oh, I've rewound it a little bit too far, but never mind. Silver Star comes home in 8th. I will let them finish. Pat comes home in 9th, and as we saw earlier, Mrs. Guesty slowed down just enough so that she could cross the line early. I think she was not too happy with this one, but it's still points at the end of the day. We'll watch Silver Star cross the line again. It's like deja vu all over again, and there we go. That is race 1. Lovely. And let's move on to race 2. Now, everyone's pretty much used the mediums except for Electric and Silver Star, so they will have to use it in this race. But what is everybody else going to use, I wonder? Are they all going to go down the Homesick Alien route and use the mediums again, or are they going to go softs and really get some places up? It's going to be interesting to see. I'll quickly place that so that nobody sees what we're doing. There we go, and we shall pause it there. Turn all these on. There we go. So we will cut to the front and we will have a look. So Mrs. Guesty is going on the softs. So is Pat. Silver Star starting on the mediums. So he's now used the mandatory tyre. Bazza is again on the mediums. Rido's also gone for mediums. Big Dan's gone for the mediums. Guesty's on the mediums. Electric on the mediums. Racer Brown going for softs, and Homesick Alien has gone for the mediums. So the two championship rivals have gone different routes. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plans out. Let's get this race over. Let's get this race on, should I say. That's what I'm looking for. 5 lights, and off we go. And as we can see, oh no, that's Reno going a bit slowly. He might have jumped the start there, but as we can see, Mrs. Guesty got off the line well. She's holding on to first. They're all queuing up, looking for space. They're all having a look on the inside. Who's going to be bravest on the brakes? It looks like it's Pat, and he's squeezed on the inside, but now Mrs. Guesty has the inside, and here comes Silver Star in 3rd. Oh, hold on to your buckets. And hold on to that coffee, because it's going to be a close one. And as you can see, Mrs. Guesty just drifted out wide. Pat holding on in the inside and taking first. Silver Star now having a look on the inside, but hasn't quite got the room to make it stick. And we can see that Baz is having a look at Silver Star again. These two are at it once again, with the big queue all kind up behind him. As we see, Pat is now taking the lead with Mrs. Guesty in 2nd, Silver Star in 3rd. Racer Brown has moved up to 4th already. Where has that come from? That's the soft tyre take advantage. He's getting early doors, but those softs are going to wear out pretty soon, so he's trying to get the hammer down as early as he can. He's having a look at Silver Star, but can't quite make it work on the inside. Bazza in 5th. Guesty is in 6th. Oh, he's lost the back end. He's lost the momentum coming around that corner. Is Homesick Alien going to take advantage of it? Yes, he does. There he goes. And he's on the inside as well, so he's now up to 6th. Guesty down to 7th. Electric in 8th. No, Big Dan in 8th, should I say. Electric is in 9th. That's what I'm looking for. So Electric not getting the start he probably wanted. but he is on the mediums and most of them are on the softs, so if he plays the patient game he should be able to make up ground. And Renault, who I think jumped the start, has dropped down into 10th. Look at them all coming through this corner, snaking their way around, but so far it's Pat that's running away with the lead at the moment. And is that Racer Brown? Having a look on the inside of Silver Star, coming down to the first corner. It is, but I don't think Racer Brown has the momentum. But I think Racer Brown's going to be braver on the brakes. There we go. They brake at the same time as Racer Brown takes third, but now he's got the outside. And is Silver Star going to take advantage of it? No, he can't. He can't, so he slips down into 4th. Maybe just let Racer Brown through, thinking I could use him for a tow and help me get away from the ever closing up Bazza, as he has a look on the inside but hasn't got the momentum. So Racer Brown now taking 3rd. That was Bazza drifting way onto the outside of that line, but here comes Homesick Alien and the Guesty, but Bazza now has on the inside, making Homesick Alien do all the hard work, and is Guesty going to sneak his way through from Homesick Alien? He's got the inside, but it's a royally awful, no, there we go. I was going to say it's a really awkward corner for an overtaking there, but so far all is well. So yes, he's still maintaining 7th. We've got Electric in 8th. I think yeah, Big Dan has dropped down into 9th. So Electric making haste now, is a little bit slow off the start, but this could be the attack of Electric. I think Catalonia definitely seems to be suiting him. He's making good progress so far. We're going to see him, perhaps maybe another podium from Electric, maybe. Who knows? But he's had to keep Big Dan honest at the moment. He's making him work hard. One small mistake. Look at the cube behind Silver Star at the moment, who now has Homesick Alien for company. So you think Homesick Alien is going to make light work of Silver Star, but the top 3 not run away. But as we can see that Mrs. Guesty is now defending from Racer Brown. She's gone to the inside, so she's making Racer Brown do all the hard work, but it says that Racer Brown has got 2nd, slips it through, and there we go, job done, into 2nd place. Really putting some distance between himself and Homesick Alien, but I imagine that Racer Brown is probably going to pick this in this race. I could be wrong, but I have a sneaky suspicion he's going to absolutely put the hammer down, and he's coming into the pits later on and really make up the places. But he's still got Pat in front of him, so he still has a little bit of work to do before he can really open the go-go juice. But I can imagine that Racer Brown is going to make light work of him. Silver Star still holding off in 4th, still keeping Homesick Alien honest, and this is not going to be good for the Homesick of Aliens. Oh, he had a look on the inside. Silver Star must have had a bad corner through that section, and as we can see, Homesick Alien moving up into 4th, and now he'll really have to put the hammer down in order to catch short Racer Brown. But is Silver Star having a look at Homesick Alien on the inside? He is. He's got the inside. Is he going to play? Oh, there's a bit of banging here and there, and all that was Guesty slipping up on the back end, but he's managed to control it and keep it on the tarmac. That's Bazza in 7th as well, being hounded by Electric, who's being hounded by Big Dan. He's having a look on the inside, car squirming a little bit as he's trying to get the power down, but Electric's managed to hold him off for another time being. But meanwhile, up the front here, we can see that Homesick Alien has gone back ahead of Silver Star, so now Homesick Alien really needing to put the hammer down to try and catch up Racer Brown and speak of the devil, and he appears. Racer Brown having a look on Pat on the inside. He's already got the job done before the corner. Oh no, he hasn't, not quite just yet. And now Pat has the inside. Is he going to take advantage of it? No, he does not. So there we go. Racer Brown now takes the lead, and it's just taking the fastest lap with a 1:53.1. So Racer Brown really opening up the taps to give himself a bit of a gap between himself and Homesick Alien. Pat now down into 2nd. We've got Mrs. Guesty still holding her own in 3rd, but she's going to have a fast approaching Homesick Alien. And I can imagine he's going to make light work of that gap in front of him. Guesty's now tight up back of him, so he's managed to get himself ahead of a Silver Star. That's the magic words that I'm looking for. Oh, they're all screeching around that corner. Need to be careful of that one. So Silver Star dropping down to 6th, but now he's got his mate Bazza tight up behind him, so no mistakes from these guys, or it's going to be a punishable by Shadow Realm. Electric still looking in 8th. It looks like he's not going to make the impact that he did in race 1, but he could be making some small mistakes. Oh, that was Electric. No, that was Silver Star going up on the inside. It looks like the old switcheroo there from Silver Star, and he's still ahead. I saw it just out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, why not? We'll have a look at it. We're being a little bit quick. As we can see that Bazza's now on the inside, goes deep into the corner, and there he was. I was correct. It was the old switcheroo by Silver Star. Nice work from these two drivers. Really giving each other plenty of space and all the clean racing you're going to have, and it's beautiful to see. Big Dan down in 9th. He's lost Electric a little bit, so he's got a bit of work to do to catch up that pack, and Renault still trying to make up for that small error of jumping the start. But we've got a long way to go into this race, and anything could happen. But meanwhile, Racer Brown in the lead, now extending in his gap between himself and Pat. He's really putting the hammer down now, because he can probably see Homesick Alien is in 4th. He needs to keep as many people between himself and Homesick Alien, and that really put a dent in the buffer in the championship between themselves, which Homesick Alien is leading at the moment. But things stay as they are at the end of this race, that buffer is going to get a massive dent into it. Pat's still doing well in 7th. He went a bit deep into that corner just there, but it's alright. He's still got a bit of a gap between himself and Mrs. Guesty, who's holding well in 3rd. She's on the soft tyres, so maybe she's just looking after them a little bit. And oh, we can see that. Whoa, what's that? Oh, Guesty's gone wide a little bit there, and oh, he manages to get on the track, but now he's lost Homesick Alien. So Guesty with the fastest lap with a 52.9, so he's got a bit of a work to do. We can see Bazza is up to 6th. There's Electric in 7th. What's happened to Silver Star? Because he was ahead of Bazza, but now he's dropped down into 8th. Oh, has it been a small mistake aside from Silver Star, I wonder? I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to go back and find out. I'm running a bit late as it is. So Big Dan in 9th, and then Renault still holding off in 10th. And I think they're all just settling down now. Oh, there we go. Racer Brown's just taken the fastest lap with 52.5, so he's really putting the hammer down. And Homesick Alien is up to 3rd. What's happened to Mrs. Guesty? She must have made a small mistake somewhere. I think she did, because of 158.7, that's not going to be very quick around this track at all. We can see that Guesty and Mrs. Guesty are now going at it. They're meeting each other again on track. If they're not meeting each other on the track, it's probably in the bedroom. Lovely stuff from these two. Guesty breezes past Mrs. Guesty, probably made it a bit easier for her as well, as she knows she's not as fast as the husband. But is she going to have a look on the inside? Is she going to make him fight for it? No, she's not. Ooh, that's Bazza sneaking up Mrs. Guesty at the back there, probably waiting for a small mistake. Mrs. Guesty now sticks to the inside, making Bazza have to go around the outside. He can't get the old switcheroo on. These two will have to be careful, because they've got Electric right behind them. One small mistake from these two, and Electric's, oh, he had a bit of a wiggle on, but he's managed to recover it. Keep it off the grass. There we go. It's been mowed already. We don't need another set of mowing. Bazza going wide a little bit there. I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Bazza going a bit wide, but he must have got the better exit coming out the corner, because he's now got the inside. Oh, in we go. Is Mrs. Guesty going to go for the switcheroo? No, she doesn't quite get Doesn't quite have the momentum coming out the corner, and there we go, she slips down into 6th, now being hounded by the Irish driver of Electric, and Silverstar in 8th. Oh, as you can see on the previous lap, it's a 1:57, after that, before that was a 1:58, so maybe a small mistake from Silverstar is what dropped him behind Bazza. But never mind, it's still going to be points at the end of the day for 8th. Renault is now ahead of Big Dan. Big Dan must have made a mistake. Has he pitted, I wonder? Now that's mega early, is that one. He's gone for a set of softs quite early on in the race, so you must feel like you can get those softs all the way to the end. Well, that's going to be interesting to see. Can he hold off the softs for that long? It's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, at the front, Racer Brown making race 2 his own for the time being. We've still got Pat in 2nd. He's still doing quite well in 2nd, so still holding off quite well, but he's got Homesick Alien right behind him, and this is exactly what Racer Brown doesn't want. He doesn't want Homesick Alien to be behind him. He could probably be happier with a fair few places between them, but it's only going to be a mistake it's going to be a mistake from Homesick Alien that makes that happen. So we'll have to wait and see. Pat really going off the racing line, coming out of that corner. Is he just going to give it to Homesick Alien, I wonder? And there we go, Homesick Alien sneaks up on the inside. Pat now able to do the switch back, so there we go. Homesick Alien now up into 2nd and can now really have to put the hammer down now to catch up the gap between himself and Racer Brown, but I imagine that Racer Brown is going to pit, so Homesick Alien will really have to put up some defensive work come the end of the race. Guesty now in 4th, and he's doing alright so far at the moment. He'd probably love a podium right about now, but he's got Pat to get ahead of him for that to happen. Bazza's still holding off in 5th. There's a little bit of a train here. This is Guesty now still being hounded by Electric. Is he going to make a move on the first corner? We see Mrs. Guesty go defensive, having to make Electric do all the hard work and go around the outside. Who's brave on the brakes? It looks like it's Mrs. Guesty, and she makes it stick. Beautifully well done there, love. And Electric now having a look on the inside, is really making the tyres squeal coming around that corner, but there we go. Still managing to hold off. Bazza's not that far ahead of him either, and into the next corner. She's holding it off well. Electric still keeping her honest. A bit of a stick out of the rear there from Electric, but so far all is well, and Silverstar isn't all that far behind them either, and that is Renault not far behind Silverstar either. So we'll stick with these guys for the time being, as this appears to be the only battle that we have on track at the moment. Everyone's got their own little gap between one another. Maybe just settling down a little bit, letting the race play its course. We see Electric going wide a little bit there. You don't want to get in that kitty litter, otherwise you'll definitely be sent to the Shadow Realm. I've been there, it's not very nice. I won't recommend it for a holiday either. Electric really having to work those medium tyres very hard. Mrs. Guesty working the softs as well to her advantage, and there we go. I was correct. Would you believe it? This lump of an idiot actually made the right call. Racer Brown comes in, and now Homesick Alien's really going to have to put the hammer down, and Pat's come in as well. So Pat coming in probably for an extra set of softs. So now it's all in Homesick Alien's position now. He's really going to have to put the foot down and hope that the traffic that Racer Brown is going to be stuck behind holds him up. As we can see, he's dropped down to 8th. He's not even out the box yet. He's only just been released, and he's still in 8th. Pat coming in, he's going to be in 9th. Is Big Dan going to get? I think Big Dan is going to get through. So there we go. I think Pat and Big Dan now are playmates, so he'll be happy with that. So meanwhile, Homesick Alien really going to have to put the hammer down now, because the ball is in his court, and we'll have to see if Racer Brown really can cut through this pack like the hot knife through butter, as they always say. So Guesty in second. Is he going to be able to hold off this second for the time being? Bazza in third at the moment. He's got Electric behind him as well. So Electric did get ahead of Mrs. Guesty. But now, and oh no, Electric's lost the back end. Is he holding it? He's holding it. He's not holding it. He has hold it. Oh, and there we go. He has hold it. But now Mrs. Guesty's having a look on the inside. Oh, there we go. So Electric managing to hang on for the time being. And I bet Electric is really, really gathering well. After this small visit to Browntown, we will say. But I'm sure he'll probably just gather himself up again and maybe get back into that little groove that he had, because he was doing so well, and then the back end just stepped out of him a little bit, and I think he went into panic mode, but he just needs to calm it down. Oh, the back end sticking out again. He's really making that back end have to fight him somewhat. Can't be doing too much of that, because Mrs. Guesty will be all over him like a bad rash. As you can see, he's made up a bit of a gap now, so might be safe for the time being, but he still can't be making too many of those mistakes. Silverstar and Rito now going to have a battle at it. This is a battle for 6th. So this is going to be quite interesting to see how, as we can see, Racer Brown is behind him as well, so he's made it up. No, he wasn't 8th to start with, but he is on the fresher sauce, so you know he's going to be lightning quick. And at the moment, Big Dan has the fastest lap with a 1:52.5, but then again, he did pit early. As we can see, the sauce are now starting to show that they're probably a little bit past their best, but he's still got plenty of meat left on it. Racer Brown now up to 7th, so he's made short work of Rito, and he's probably going to have a short work of Silverstar as well. And there we go. Easy as you like. He's now up to 6th, but with less than 12 minutes to go, is Racer Brown going to make a dent in the lead of Homesick Alien that he has? Rito going slightly losing the back end a little bit there, but manages to recompose himself and get that back end back in order. Next on Racer Brown's target is Mrs. Guesty, and I imagine he's going to make light work of that as well, but Electric still holding off in 4th, and we've got Bazza in 3rd as well, so he's got all this work to do if he wants to get back on that top spec. That's what I'm looking for. Guesty's still doing well in 7th, and Homesick Alien now just completing lap 10, just over 10 minutes to go. Is Racer Brown going to be able to recover from that pit stop? You would think he would. He'll definitely be quick. Let's have a look. I reckon he's going to probably get the fastest lap at the moment, and it's certainly looking that way. No, he doesn't. Oh. Well. Or might be traffic, to be fair. I have to remember that one. It was a bit of traffic, but there's a little bit of clean air at the moment. This is Guesty in front of him, probably disturbing the air a little bit, but he's definitely going to be carving into that gap with no doubt whatsoever. Silverstar still being hounded by Rito for 7th place. Silverstar going to go on the defensive, not this time round. Probably doesn't think that Rito had the momentum coming up the corner. I've just seen that Racer Brown is having a look at Mrs. Guesty. She's making him go around the outside. Are we going to see the old switcheroo again? No, still keeping him honest, but now have the tricky section coming through, and oh no, she's gone deep a little bit, and there we go. Racer Brown moves up into 5th. That's another one out of the way. Oh, put a bit of the indicators on. Probably thought there was a bit of a knock there, but it didn't appear like it affected her race too much. And as we can see Bazza just further ahead in 3rd, and he's being hounded by Electric. So it's not set in stone just yet. You might want to hang on to you, go get another cup of coffee or something, because this is going to be a nail biter all the way to the end. Bazza holding off for that final step of the podium, who's constantly being hounded by Electric, and he'll soon be hounded by a very, very fast approaching Racer Brown. But he's still got quite a considerable gap to go through. As you can see, Racer Brown has just got onto the start-finish straight, and Homesick Alien is just leaving it. Mrs. Guesty has pulled into the pits, so she fancies another set of soft tyres. So she's going to be lightning quick come the end of this. She'll probably have quite a bit of a work to do. I don't know if she'll make up the gap, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, so I'm going to say that it will not happen again. So Silver Star still holding off Renault in 6th. Racer Brown, an absolute rocket, in 5th. Absolutely chasing down these two of Bazza in 3rd, and Electric, who we're currently watching, in 4th. And Bazza's gone wide a little bit there. Electric's going up on the inside, but now Bazza will have the inside, making him having to do all the work. And there we go. Is Electric going to do the switcheroo? Oh, Bazza's gone onto the gravel. No, get it out of there. And no, Electric has moved up into 3rd now. Wowzers, one tiny little mistake for Bazza, and it's costing 3rd place. But now Racer Brown is coming up tight behind them. And how long are they gonna hold up Racer Brown? I wonder. Not very long for Bazza, as he just sweeps on by. Easy as it comes. Racer Brown now in 4th. There we go. He's now getting the purples. Electric going deep there a little bit, so Racer Brown having to cut in onto the inside. And we know he's easily going to get Electric at some point, but how long is he going to be able to hold it for? And will he be able to catch Guesty, I wonder? Let's see on the minimap. Jose Alien's just crossed the start-finish line. Racer Brown isn't even on the start straight, so he's still got quite a work to do, but he is catching him. He is catching him because the gap wasn't that big before. So Racer Brown on an absolute mission, but he's got less than 6 minutes to make it work. Electric going defensive. Racer Brown still finds the door open, and there we go. He's now moved up into 3rd. Oh, this is to be the dead of the end. You really, really don't want to be missing that one. So Bazza now down in 5th. He was on the podium, but I'm sure he'll be happy with his 5th. The Silver Star still in 6th, still being hounded by Renault. And Pat in 8th, doing quite well with those Sauce. Big Dan Sauce must have given up now, because he wasn't that far down the order. So I did say it might have been a little bit early, but he's done well to make them last this long with only 5 minutes remaining. So it was the right call, but right at the end now it's going to be affecting him. Mrs. Guesty as well on her fresh softs, but I don't think she's going to be cutting into much of that gap to herself and Big Dan. But meanwhile, Homesick Alien probably trying his best to really, really keep that gap open between himself and Guesty, but it's probably not Guesty that's on his mind at the moment. It's this man, Racer Brown, now in 3rd. Has pulled a bit of a gap between himself and Electric. I thought it might be a little bit bigger than that at the moment, but give it time. Racer Brown is just, he's in his groove move now. He's in his groove mode. That's what I'm looking for. Groove move. Honestly. I fail English. So Electric still holding off in 4th. He's now got a bit of a gap between himself and Bazza, so it looks like, barring any mistakes from Electric, it looks like it's going to be a 4th. This is going to be a great result for Electric if he manages to hold off for 4. Bazza in 5th as well. He'll be pleased with the upgraded result from the previous race, which I can't remember where he finished now because my memory is that rubbish. And what's happened here? Well, that was weird. Oh, that was weird. Silver Star still holding off in 6th, still being hounded by Renault. Renault unable to find a way through the defence of Silver Star, but to be fair, Silver Star has looked after those tyres quite well. He's got way a bit more meat left than on Renault, but we've said before that Silver Star can look after a set of tyres. So if you really want to make your way by him, you're going to have to need some raw pace to really overtake him at the moment. Rito still unable to find a way through Silver Star's defence. Meanwhile, Big Dan in 8th, so he's managed to get ahead of Pat. Was it a small mistake from Pat, maybe, I wonder? But as you can see, the soft tyre is near enough dead on that front left. So Big Dan is... Hang on a second, is that Silver Star going slowly? What's happened there? I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back with this one because we're already late into the stream. So I wonder if Silver Star has made a small mistake going through that tricky chicane further on, because Rito is now up to 6th and is Silver Star now being hounded by Pat. So I wonder what's happened there. I think I saw the flash of the lights from Silver Star, so not quite sure what happened there. It's probably flash of the lights. Maybe it was a small mistake from Silver Star with Rito, or a small mistake from Rito. We don't know. I'm pretty sure the guys in the stewards room will be on top of that one. And we can see Pat's having a look on the inside of Silver Star. Is he going to make the move stick? Yes, he does. There we go. So Silver Star dropping from 6th to 9th in just a couple of corners, and he's probably not going to be happy with this one at the end of the day. But meanwhile, as we can see, Racer Brown is now ahead of Guesty, so he's really making those tyres work to his advantage. As we can see, he's done a 1:52.1, so Racer Brown with the fastest lap at the moment, as we probably would expect. But he's still got a considerable gap between himself and Homesick Alien. And is he going to be able to make up the gap, I wonder? Let's have a look and see if I can do... So it's just on a 1:10 just before there. Oh no, I'm looking at it completely wrong, aren't I? So let's see if I can time this right. So if we come up to 2012, it's 9, 10, 11. So he's just under 10 seconds between himself and Racer Brown. So he's got 10 seconds to find in 1.5 minutes. I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think he's going to be able to find it. I think Homesick Alien has done enough to hold off the lead. And is he going to come away with a double win, I wonder? That is really going to put a dent in Racer Brown in his fight for the championship. But if anybody can really put a dent in that lead, it's going to be Racer Brown. But I think the softs are just a little bit beyond their best now. So I think it's going to be another win for the Homesick Alien. Guess he's still holding off in 3rd. He'll probably be happy with this one after that little mistake he made in race 1. So this will be a nice comeback for him in race 2. Electric still holding well in 4th. And Baz is still holding well in 5th as well. You can see the two aren't that far away from each other, but I think the gap is going to be too big for him as we're now into the last minute. So this is probably going to be their final lap. Oh, Rito having a look at Big Dan. Is he going to be able to make it work? I don't think he is. No, he can't. Rito goes a bit deep there, as did Pat. Really pushing each other to the edge right away. Oh, look, and Silver Star cutting the corner a little bit there. Probably maybe a little bit mistake of a back end kick out. I'm not quite sure, but we know we have a good feeling that that wasn't intentional at all. At least I hope not. But it doesn't look like he's gained much of an advantage out of it anyway. And Mrs. Guesty still holding off in 10th. The pit stop not working for her in this race either, but never mind. But race 2, it looks like it's going to be a slam dunk for Homesick Alien. And this championship is now looking like it's heading towards the Alien. And what can you say? What can you say about Homesick Alien? The man's near enough unbeatable. Moves over to the cross, flash of the lights. Homesick Alien takes race 2 win. Racer Brown coming home in 2nd. The pit stop not quite working to him, but he'll be happy with 2nd. Guesty's now coming home in 3rd. He'll be pleased with this after race 1. And he takes 3rd. Well done, my friend. Electric coming home in 4th. What a round for him. Bazza coming home in 5th. He'll be pleased with that one as well. Big Dan still in 6th. He's still got a bit of a queue behind him, so he can't afford to make a mistake now, but it looks like he's managed to pull it off, and we're going to have to be quick about this. So Big Dan comes home in 6th, Renault comes home in 7th, Pat in 8th, Silver Star coming home in 9th, and then we've got bringing up the rear is Mrs. Guesty. Probably not the round that she was happy with, but we know what we say. There we go. So what a nice round that we've had there. So Homesick Alien taking the slam dunk race 1 victory and race 2 victory, putting an even bigger dent between himself and Racer Brown in that championship. Racer Brown coming out in 2nd, but he did get the fastest lap, so it does count out the points difference for this race 1. But race 2 still went to Homesick Alien, so it's just extended that little bit there. But he'll be happy with the minimal damage. Guesty coming home in 3rd, he'll be happy with that one. Electric coming home in 4th. What a round for Electric. A 3rd in race 1 and a 4th in race 2. That's a great result for the Irishman. The Belgian Bullet, Bazza, coming home in 5th. I can't remember where he finished in race 1. My apologies, Bazza, but he'll be happy with that 5th place and getting a bit of a difference between himself and Big Dan, who came home in 6th. I think the early pit stop just didn't work in his favour. It probably worked to the start, but near the end, I think it was just asking a little bit too much. What kind of camera is that? There we go. Renault comes home in 7th. I'm assuming he'll be quite happy with that one. He had a great race at the start, but it just dropped away from him there. Pat coming home in 8th, and these are very tell, that'll do. Pat coming home in 8th, that's good points for you. Silver Star in 9th, we're still not quite sure what happened between him and Redo, so maybe that'll be one for the stewards to look at. I don't know, or whether it was just a back end, I'm not sure. Still points though, and Mrs. Guesty about to cross the line in 10th, but as we always say, still get some points at the end of the day, which is what matters. So, round 8. I'm not quite sure when I will get onto that. I'm hoping to do it this weekend. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, if I'm honest with you, which I could leave it as a surprise, couldn't I? That would be interesting. Could leave it as a surprise, although I will have to speak to the hierarchy to see on whether they would want to do that or not. Which I will also be bringing. I think it might be round. What we have 7. Oh, round 9 of the WRX Challenge in the Subarus. Where are they in the Scoobies? I'm sure it was yeah, because this is round 7, isn't it? So they're one round ahead, so it will be round 9. So where is round 9? Oh, it's the Nürburgring. Ooh, it's going to be a double feature, so that'll be one to look forward to. And the Renault Meganes, they are, yeah, this is round 7, so round 8, I'm not quite sure when I'll get onto that. I'm hoping I can get that done quickly. And round 8 is at Spa. We're at Spa for round 8. That's going to be an absolute belter, so you won't want to miss those ones. So I'm going to make this quickly and say we'll do the normal routine of giving this video the thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and get that bell on as well so you never miss a race from us. And the championship, this Renault Megane trophy, is really hotting up near the end. You really won't want to miss that one. And the upcoming MTCC, I'm looking forward to doing that one as well, which I'm not quite sure when I'll get onto it. I'll get onto it as quickly as I can. That's the only thing I can say. And I shall leave it at that. So it's getting close towards me going Betty bye-byes. So I shall leave it at that, and hope to see you soon, in which I was your broadcaster and commentator, insert comical name here, and remember, water is what a rainbow actually tastes like. Bit of information there for you to go to work with. So, until we meet again, enjoy your Friday, and see you, hopefully, hopefully, on the weekend. Have fun, people. Bye.